In America, prescriptions are not just about medicine, they are about money. Behind every pill bottle lies a system where insurers profit from rebates, pharmaceutical companies chase sales targets, and doctors and pharmacies are nudged to keep treatments flowing. The result? Patients often receive drugs they don't really need, while the system grows richer. To understand why overprescription is rampant, we must look at the financial incentives that drive it. Before I continue, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends, so more people can discover this content. Also subscribe to receive more content like this. In the United States, medicine is not just about health, it is also about profit. This reality explains why so many people find themselves prescribed drugs they do not genuinely need. At the center of the problem is a system that financially rewards prescribing and selling medication, often leaving patient well-being as a secondary concern. When commissions, bonuses, and corporate profits are tied to how many prescriptions are written or filled, it is no surprise that overprescription has become common practice. The American healthcare system is structured in such a way that insurance companies, pharmaceutical manufacturers, and even doctors can benefit financially from the prescribing of drugs. Insurance companies negotiate contracts that favor certain medications, often because those companies have struck lucrative rebate deals with drug manufacturers. These rebates, while not openly labeled as commissions, act in a similar way. The more a specific drug is prescribed and filled, the more money flows back through the system. This means that insurance companies have a built-in incentive to encourage the use of particular drugs, regardless of whether they are always the best option for the patient. Pharmaceutical companies play into this by creating aggressive marketing and sales structures. Representatives are tasked with driving prescriptions for their products, and their own bonuses and career advancement are tied to prescription volume. The sales force is highly skilled at persuading doctors to prescribe newer, more expensive drugs, often by highlighting selective clinical data or presenting generous educational perks. While direct commissions for doctors are not legal in the United States, there are many indirect ways in which prescribing behavior is rewarded. Doctors are often offered speaking engagements, research opportunities, and industry-funded travel when they align with a pharmaceutical company's objectives. In subtle but powerful ways, this can amount to a system where writing prescriptions is more financially attractive than holding back. Even within medical practices themselves, the financial incentive structure can be skewed. In large healthcare organizations, doctors may be evaluated on productivity metrics that include the number of patients seen and the treatments prescribed. A doctor who spends extra time convincing a patient that lifestyle changes are a better path may appear less productive than one who writes a prescription and moves on. This productivity-driven model is, in effect, an incentive to prescribe. It saves time, satisfies patient expectations, and keeps the system moving at a profitable pace. The role of pharmacies should not be overlooked either. Retail pharmacy chains often rely heavily on prescription volume as their primary revenue stream. Pharmacists may face corporate pressure to push refills, encourage adherence, and highlight branded drugs over generics because these choices affect the company's bottom line. Just as insurance companies profit from rebate structures, pharmacies profit from filling more prescriptions, regardless of whether the patient truly needs ongoing medication. What emerges from all of this is a web of financial incentives that encourage drug use at every stage. A doctor may feel nudged by industry influence, an insurance company may profit from rebates, and a pharmacy chain may push for higher fill rates. The patient becomes the end consumer of a product that, in many cases, they did not actually need, but which kept money flowing through the system. The irony is that this is often presented under the guise of choice and care. Insurance companies claim to be guiding patients toward the most cost-effective medications, when in fact they are steering them toward drugs that deliver the largest rebates. Pharmaceutical companies frame their influence as education and innovation, when their sales teams are primarily measured by prescription counts. Doctors and pharmacies may insist they are only responding to patient demand, but the structures they work within make prescribing the path of least resistance, financially and practically. In this system, the best defense for ordinary people is often to stay as healthy as possible and avoid entering the cycle altogether. Once a patient begins interacting with doctors, insurers, and pharmacies, they can easily find themselves funneled toward ongoing prescriptions, not because it is always necessary, but because each link in the chain benefits when that happens. Preventive health becomes not just a personal choice, but a strategy of self-preservation against an industry that thrives on chronic treatment. At its core, the problem is not that doctors or companies are malicious, but that the system rewards the wrong behaviors. When profit depends on prescriptions, overprescription becomes inevitable. Until incentives are realigned toward prevention and long-term health, Americans will continue to be offered medications they may not need, not because their bodies demand them, but because the system does. If this made you stop and think about how the healthcare system really works, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with someone who might need to hear it. Drop a comment with your thoughts or experiences, and subscribe for more insights. Together we can start asking the questions that matter.